November 10, my brother was hanged in a most brutal manner. They tried to hang my brother 5 times. He was the first person to go. Their contraction would not work. 5 times. On the 5th attempt, my brother was still breathing. They cut the rope and he fell into a pit. Broke his neck and his arms and was still shouting in pain. The Nigerian military dictators, the people who were there, Lieutenant Colonel Como and others, poured acid on my brother and he gave the final shriek and was silenced. There was international outrage, condolence messages, which helped to relieve the pain. The Commonwealth was meeting in Auckland, New Zealand. They suspended Nigeria. John Major talked of judicial murder. The Prime Minister of Canada tried as much as possible before the hanging to convince other world leaders that they need to say more quickly, publicly. President Mandela, after the hanging, talked about the barbarism of the Nigerian military dictatorship. Newspapers all over the world were screaming. What has happened now? Nigeria was suspended from the Commonwealth. What has happened? Some sanctions, denial of visas, but nobody did what they should do, no government. Oil sanction now. But oil is the life wire of the military, of Shell. As long as that oil keeps flowing, as long as the military is still getting the money with which they buy drugs and take wrong decisions, the money with which they buy the instruments of violence to suppress people, to rape Ogoni women, to dehumanize us, as long as Shell continue to take that oil without caring about the people, because that company has an attitude problem. They do have, and it's one of the most difficult things to change in a corporation, even in individuals, to change their attitude, to change their racism. We have tried every means to see that Shell changes, to treat the people of color, the indigenous people, as people, and not just structures, cold obstacles, who happen to be where resources are. They will not. I believe that is the key thing. I know that profit on itself is a factor, money, dollars. But apart from that, what will make people who work in Shell, what will make a man deprive sons of their fathers? What will make people, make widows of so many people? What will make another person deprive brothers of their loved ones? More than money, attitude, they don't care. Up till today, Shell does not believe that the Ogoni people are worried about the environment. No. How can black people get worried about the environment? They forget that we've always had a bond with our trees, with our forests, with the animals. I grew up in a village where turtles used to come from the forest, come into our house, and go back. We don't eat it. It was friendly to us. In the next village, 5 kilometers away, the crocodile in the streams, we bathe with it. It does not bite us. We don't eat it. In other areas of the Niger Delta, the python was very free. You would sleep on your bed, wake up with a python by your side. That was the sort of symbiotic relationship we used to have with some of the animals, so that I don't need to go to a zoo to see the animals. I go from one village to the other, and they will have one animal that was sacred, that did not harm the people, and the people did not harm. Shell does not believe. No. What do they care about trees? We have always cared about trees. You saw the beautiful mask. When the trees fall down, we didn't have the technology to hack, to do logging now. We wait when the trees are old and they fall down, we get it and make our mask and dance. Our drums, the xylophone. Those were all the things that was culture to us. The environment and the things that came from it became us. And we had a company who still did not believe, did not study about us coming to remove what was life to us. We are protesting that and will continue to do it in Ogoni, and we also assist other people who have that sort of bond with their environment. Because when you remove people's culture, there is nothing left. Nothing. You float. You go on and look for something else, maybe drugs, crime, and all that is happening. We don't want that to happen to us. We will not give Shell that benefit. As I was saying, countries all over the world condemned the killing. NGOs, only two structures in this world, the Nigerian military and Shell, have said the killing is right. They did not. Only those two. That is a mark of the alliance between the two. Shell issued adverts all over the world saying that people who were protesting peacefully to save people in detention were responsible. That was their actions that made the military to kill. Diabolical, evil, saying that people who are trying to prevent killing are responsible for killing. That is the sort of blackmail that Shell did on the conscience of so many people. Your protests helps. In June 94 again, I was arrested along with 4 of my colleagues and a journalist because we were going to a village where there were a lot of killings. I was put in detention and I was to be charged for murder. Not the murder of one person or two, now 800 people, and arson of 6 villages. I and my friends, 4 of us. But I was fortunate because I went with a journalist who was released, and Amnesty International issued an alert on my behalf. A lot of letters came in. There was a lot of publicity. The journalist wrote a story. My name was mentioned, along with the name of another fellow with me. 2 of us were released. The other 2 who had accompanied us to go and investigate what was happening are still in detention today. They are charged murder. How do I feel when people I took up to show me somewhere are still in detention for murder and I'm free walking away? What do I tell the wives, their wives, their children? Those are the sort of trauma that we are going through that we want to stop. We want the world to help us as much as we're helping ourselves on peaceful means. Embargo on Nigerian oil, boycott of Shell products. Maybe, if it is done well enough, will touch the heart of somebody in Shell to change its practices. Corporations are made of people. People have been known to exercise their racism using the corporate powers. People have been known to exercise the evil in their mind using the powers they have within corporations. People have been known to make corporations evil. We, Oyogoni people and Motsop, are not against the creation of wealth, but we are against the process of creating that wealth lead to the death of the people around there, lead to the destruction of the environment. We are not at all against the creation of wealth, or we are against the evil of primitive capitalism that survives on the destruction of indigenous culture and people. That is what MOSOP is fighting against, the Ogoni people in our own land. We are grateful, very, very grateful to the Canadian government. And we wish the Canadian people to know that they have a government that people in Africa and in Nigeria respect a lot for standing on the path of the truth, on the path of democracy for Africa, on the path for respect of human rights. We are grateful to the Canadian NGOs, Canadian PEN, who have been doing so much, the CCPJ, Canadian Committee for the Protection of Journalists, Greenpeace here, Jim Moffat, who is there, has been wonderful, also to Amnesty, Sierra Club, both in America and Canada, and we're particularly grateful to Jaggi Singh, who has put so much effort here to see that Vancouver helps the Ogoni people. There are quite a lot to say on this struggle. November 10 this year, we are going to remember Ken and 8 of our friends, and to bring the issue of environmental racism, human rights respect into the forefront. From Japan to Finland to South Africa, Ogoni, and here, we are going to remember Ken from the 8th. We hope people will do so peacefully, non-violently, boycott Shell products. The institutions that invest in Shell should know that whatever profit they get from that, from their shares there, contain the blood of the Ogoni people. We would appreciate if they can send a message to Shell: remove your money, divest from Shell. The process has started in many institutions where the students are passing resolutions asking the universities to remove their shares in Shell. You can also write to the president of Shell here and also in Nigeria to tell him that you are ashamed of what they are doing. You can help the Ogoni people by stopping to buy from Shell, boycott their products. You will be helping the Ogoni people, and you'll be helping Shell also for them to take a good decision for business, for the future. I mentioned business a lot and NGOs because we have also been helped by corporations, the Body Shop. They have at different times been very helpful. During our escape, they make it possible for people to hear our case, as the other NGOs are doing. We are grateful for that. I would stop here so that I can answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.
The following Ogoni activists were hanged by the Nigerian government on November 10th, 1995. Barabor Bera, Saturday Dobi, Nordu Iowo, Daniel Gaboku, Dr. Baranam Kiobel, John Kupinian, Paul Lavera, Felix Nuate, and Ken Sarawiwa. Lord, take their souls. The struggle still continues.